All right, are we ready to have church? And before we get started, I want to wish somebody a very happy birthday. Miss Rita Carter. Sister Rita, happy birthday to you. Y'all gonna sing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rita. Happy birthday to you.
We love you, Miss Rita. We love you. Be glad when you come back to church in person when this Rona's gone. We are going to go straight into the book of Matthew. Matthew number 16. And we're going to start on verse 13. When Jesus came to the region Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." "What about you?" he asked. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by man, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth, will it be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he warns his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Christ.
Jesus told his disciples not to tell nobody?
Yes. As soon as I get this iPad working, we'll be going. Jesus did not want anybody to know that he was the Son of Man, that he was Jesus. When he turned to the disciples and he asked, "What about you? Who do you say I am?" So, if Jesus turned to you now, who would you say he is? Who is Jesus in your life? What role does he play in your life? Who do you say he is? Can you say he's the Messiah, Son of the living God? You going to say he's Jesus, the King of Kings? Are you going to say he's the man that died on the cross for you? Who are you going to say he is? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. Who are you? Who are you, God? To me, myself, I say he's my Father. Paul said to the Corinthians, "For now we see only your reflections as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face." But seeing a reflection in the mirror, I say this a lot, We know what God looks like. He is the one that we go to every time we have a problem. But is He the one that we go to when we don't have problems? When everything's going our way and everything's going good, how often do we go to the King of Kings? Or do we call Him is He our welfare king? Only when we're in need and desperate need do we go to Him? Or is He the King of Kings? The one we go to for everything, with everything. Today when I was sitting in the sheriff's office and I was being interviewed and drilled by these folks wearing uniforms and badges and all this is going on, I was thanking God for the opportunity to be sitting there. It was raining when I got there, and I had to sit in the parking lot and wait for them to call me so I could come in. And I was praying, God, please let it stop raining. I don't have an umbrella. I got to carry all these papers in when I go, and I got to run across the road, and I'm going to be soaking wet time I get in. It stopped raining. It literally stopped raining. And they called as soon as it stopped. I don't know if they was looking out the window and they said, okay, I'll call now. But it stopped. And I went in and the interview went great. And I thank God all the way over, all during, and all after. Who is He to you? He's my everything. The Christian faith is a journey, an exciting journey of getting to know who God is. And we learn as we put our faith into practice. In Acts, Peter has to learn many things as it pertains to following Christ. For example, at first he thinks only Jewish people and those who are circumcised and eat the right kind of food can be saved. That's not true. But we learn that as we walk. We learn as we walk and we get to know God and who He is. That statement's not true. You can eat pork and still get to heaven. Thank God. Thank God. Praise Him, because I love bacon. But he has to learn that Christ died for all. And folks, it's time the church learns that Christ died for all. Doctrine and rules and regulations of certain faiths has nothing to do with who's going to get to heaven. Not any. When you can answer the question, who am I to you? That's Jesus talking to you. Who am I to you? That's how you're going to get into heaven. Is He going to be your king at all times? Is He going to be your king when the bank account's fat? When the Lamborghini's got gas in it? When you're paying the guard to shut the gates at your house? You going to be thanking God then? That's when I'd be thanking Him the most. The more time we spend with Him, the more we are in a ministry with and for Him. The more we come to learn about Him. And there's nothing more beautiful nor exciting in all the world. So as we ask ourselves, the question Jesus asked his disciples, who do you say I am? Who do you say I am? Who is he? I'm not going to say that having life going your way is a sin, because it's not. That's not what that's what I strive for. I strive for life to go my way. I'm kind of like that, you know. Things go my way, I'm praising God. But when everything's just beautiful and perfect, how often do you pick up the Bible and read it? Seriously, ask yourself these questions. The best question is this: when is the last time you picked up the Bible and read it and got to have a relationship with the Father? It's so easy nowadays to pick up the Bible and have it. We all have it right on our phones. We can turn on the TV and watch church 24 hours a day. Here's a serious question. Is that better in your relationship and answering the question, who am I? Or would it be better if we actually picked up a Bible and read it to make our relationship stronger? I have to say this. This is my personal opinion. I believe once you have the fundamentals down on who Jesus Christ is and what he did, what he asked of you, you need to spend as much time you can speaking with him. Not so much reading this. Read this by all means as much as you can. Spend time having a heart-to-heart with the Father, asking him what to do now. This is what I want. How can we get this? Father, I'm asking you for it. I write myself notes as I pray, and I keep them on me. These are prayers that I pray that I want God to deliver for me. And I take it out of my pocket every day, every morning, every evening, and I read it, and I re-pray it, and I pray over it. This is what we have to do to have God answer our prayers. It doesn't matter if you're by yourself, if you're with somebody and they think you're just zoned out, riding in the car with them, not saying a word, as long as you're not driving. Don't do it if you're driving. And talking to God. Spend time talking to the Father. Does anybody have any regrets? Here's my regret. I didn't spend enough time talking to my dad. I didn't talk to my dad as much as I would have liked to now. Back then it was more than I wanted to. Why? Because he was strict. I had to do things a certain way. So, is that why we don't talk to the Father today, that we're adults? It's because he's strict and we have to do things his way? Is his rules so bad and so hard that we don't want to have a relationship with him, that we want to pretend to have a relationship with him so we'll look good to the rest of the community? He's the Father. We're the children. We need to conform our life to what He says, not to what we say. Everything that we ask for in His name, He says He will give us. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell y'all this is the most true statement I've ever spoken in my life. So far, everything I've ever prayed for has been delivered. I'm walking around with a prayer in my pocket that is actually unfolding and happening now.
What did you say when you said we need to conform our life to what He says?
Yes.
I was writing.
Are you practicing to be a court reporter? Because you're
Yes.
fast.
Yes.
Yes.
We need to conform our life to what He says, right?
It's what He says, not what we
Okay,
want.
no, that's it, not what we want. Thank you.
So, who do you say He is? I say He's a Father, our Father. I say that He's the King of Kings. I say that He is a prayer granter. I say He is a miracle maker. I say He is love. I say He's the boss. He's everything rolled into one. He's the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. If He come up and sit beside you, would He say to you, that you're a rock and this is where He's going to build His church? Would He give you the keys to heaven? Would He let you be part of the 12? Ask yourself these questions and keep in mind He knows everything you do, so you can't hide nothing from Him. Do you think your walk in your Christian life is so good that He would allow you to be one of the 12? And remember, the 12 were fishermen. They were carpenters, tax collectors, and all these others. Would He let you be one of the 12? Sometimes I get mad at myself because I think that my sermons aren't getting through or making any leeway, or they're not the greatest. And then somebody will come in and say something about one, and I know it is. But here's why I say that about myself. Because I never went to theology school. I had one Bible course, not a class, it was a course. It was more than one day. It was a bunch. But I don't have a ton of degrees hanging on the wall. I like wearing t-shirts and blue jeans. And then I think about the 12 and how that was just a motley crew bunch of people. They were anything but perfect. And I compare myself and I think, if I was there, I think me and Peter would have been pretty good friends. He cussed, he liked to fight, he was just rough and tough. He was kind of like a redneck, I guess. And I think, I think what I'm saying is getting through and people's understanding. what we have to understand is that we can live up to God's standards. We can. Because He allows us to make mistakes. But we have to admit that we make mistakes. We have to own them. We can't ignore them and sweep them under a rug and run off and tell secrets on people and spread gossip. And God don't like that. That's ugly. God don't like ugly. We have to live up to His standards, which is easy. Just look at the 12. Know that who He is. When you can answer the question, who am I? Who do you say I am? Then you'll know what He is to you. And when you can figure out what He is to you, then you'll know the answer. And you'll know whatever you ask for in His name, He'll give you. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. I hope that's real easy to understand. I told you who He is to me. Now here's what we're going to do as we go back into worship here in just a minute. I want you to tell Him who He is to you. I told Him who He is to me. He's my Father. He's my rock. He's my reflection when I look in the mirror. He's my buddy. He's my prayer granter. I know all I know about Him, and He knows everything about me. And He tells me He's happy with me, that I'm doing just fine. To hear Him say my sermons is good, that's good enough for me. Spend the next few minutes, these next 2 songs, 3 songs, 4, 1, however many songs we do next, who knows. Tell Him who He is. Get real with Him. As Pastor Lynn says, get naked with Him. Uncover it all. Let Him know who He is to you. If you're listening to this podcast, first off, thank you. And call the number 251-421-0894. Somebody will speak with you, pray with you, whatever you want to talk about. We're here. If you're watching at home, call that number on the bottom of the screen. Send us a message. Send a happy birthday wish to Rita, Miss Rita. And we thank you.